In this video, Justin Taylor, Vice President of Product Management, walks you through ReadyBot's identity automation use cases.
What the mid-market is looking for, and that is the automated lifecycle management. They want to automate that process. Most of them that we're finding and coming across, the customers that typically are coming to us, they either have an IGA but they're not happy with it, or they've got something old like MIM, or it's stagnant, it hasn't been upgraded, or the IGA hasn't been upgraded in a long time, or they're coming in, they have identity now, and they're like, well, we can't connect to all these systems, we can't do all these different things we used to be able to do or would like to do, and then we help augment that and fulfill those things for them. At the same time, for the mid-market, we also have customers who are coming in saying, typically right now, we just have kind of a hodgepodge. Sometimes it's a ticket, sometimes it's through email. We're trying to come up with a more standardized way of doing it. So our product is really focusing on that joiner, mover, lever, including the administration pieces of it, and making it very simple for them to go through and to manage, to build things. And so that's really where this particular product is focused, is on that administration side of things. But that doesn't mean that we can't come in and do a whole lot more for customers. For example, one customer we're working with right now, they want to do automated account verification. So not a user access review, but they want to see, is this really your account? Are you the owner of this account, or are you still using this account? And it could be for any other thing. Do you still need this license, whatever the case might be? And so we build solutions that allow them to pull the data out, put some logic inside of there, even do things like pre-checks and have escalations and prioritizations, send it out through our multiple communication channels, whether it's Teams or email or SMS, send it out, get the response, and then take care of the remediation if there's anything inside of there. Other pieces where we need to basically provide them a mechanism where we can automatically add people to groups and DLs based upon attribute information. Now, it's relatively simple for us, but when I get into the IGA world, it's much harder because, again, IGAs were always built around the idea there's one way to do things. You bring it in, here's the services you have within the IGA, and that's what you got. And sometimes you can go and do development outside of it, but a lot of cases you cannot do that. So in their particular case, this customer has their own identity system. They have Identity Now, and they wanted us to come through and say, well, we're going to send you this information. We'll have IDN send you this information. You're going to pick it up and you're going to go add the people to the groups because IDN couldn't do it. And so we took it and augmented that for them. Service desk automation. So whether it's from a perspective of the IGA, for example, creating tickets, or whether they're IGA specific tickets, identity administration tickets, regardless of what it is, we can pick up those tickets and start doing things with them, whether it's to go and make changes in AWS or Microsoft, or do anything that we need to do. People use us to do investigations, to go collect data for an investigation from a security perspective. And again, I just used two examples here of ServiceNow and Cherwell, but really it could be anything. Those are two that we've, ServiceNow is one we most commonly work with, but we can work with anything. And one of the reasons, by the way, that we can do that is right there at the bottom. Our platform is based on PowerShell. And that's not an accident, it's a strategic decision to do it that way. And the reason is that PowerShell is what IT already knows. They already know this language, they're used to it. They have to use it in many cases to manage their systems. And so in many cases, the bots that we create to do certain tasks and processes are literally taking the bots that were already created, or excuse me, the PowerShell that was already created, stripping out about 60, 70% of the code because we don't need it because of our higher level services, bringing it in and simply reusing that code to make decisions and to do certain tasks for individuals. At the same time, we provide some of our own as well, but it's a combination of the two. So when you're trying to look for individuals who can be part of your automation team and actually go out and do this different work for customers, you're not going to go find, Java developers and .NET developers and all this. Do they understand PowerShell? Are they IT people? Yep. Okay. Well, then they can work in this environment, and it's very simple to use. Another example: automated account lockout resolution. So one customer came in and said, "Hey, we've got a problem. The problem is that our executives are getting locked out all the time." And they needed to automate the unlock of those accounts. And so we actually have this whole process that we built for them where we integrate with their service desk, we integrate with Splunk, we integrate with Active Directory, and we do all these different tasks to come up through a process, decide whether or not we can automate the unlocking of that account. We do that through text messaging them to see, for example, is this actually you? Yes. Okay. Go to this particular location. You need to validate that you are who you say you are. Great. Okay. Now I know I can unlock this account for you. In other cases, maybe there's some rules in there. There are some rules in there that say if this has happened multiple times, we're going to lock your account and keep it locked and escalate it to somebody. And so we have all this different processes that can be managed in here. But this could just be part of a normal organization's security posture. Here's a process that helps you do that. Just-in-time access, another one. So we use this. This was originally built for internal use, and now we've got it out to some customers where we give just-in-time access to specific resources. So somebody comes in and says, "I need to do this particular task." Okay, great. What do I need? You need access to this. Okay, I'm going to give it to you for a set period of time. We go and give you access. It's scheduled. Our bots have built-in timers so that we can pick up and process bots on a whatever time period we need. It'll kick off that event and remove the access when it's needed, or when it's no longer needed, or when it's supposed to be removed. And so that whole process, again, can be completely automated for the customer. DevOps provisioning, kind of talked about that a little bit with the other customer, but we use this internally. We also use this with certain customers where they need to provision a employee, a new developer. So let's say you go out, you've got an IGA event, you've got HR said, I hired a new person, their job code is this, they're a developer. Well, what does a developer typically need? Well, in many cases, you've got something inside of your IGA that will say this is what they should have access to, but what are the other things that need to be done for them? In many cases, you've got tickets that are going out as tasks, either within the IGA or out to a service desk. Well, we just simply pick up those tasks and we go and provision and take care of that whole entire process for them. Set up the VMs, give them access, create service principals, whatever it happens to be, we can go and take care of that. That is not something that typically IGAs or any identity management process is typically involved with, other than saying, here's the additional steps that I need to go create tickets for. And sometimes that's not even something the IGA does. Sometimes it's just a matter of saying, hey, this new person was hired, do whatever you have to do to get them set up. And so in our particular case, we can actually automate that entire process for them. So I'm going to do a summary. If you look at what we are about, we're trying to, or really what we're doing is we're applying automation to an extended identity-centric security measures. What does that have to do with it? Well, again, everything's about identity at the end of the day. Can I use this? Can I not? What does this person have? That resource is only there for a purpose. It's there for a person or a process. And we can do much more than just what an off-the-shelf IGA platform can do, again, because we're built on top of this automation platform. So it's very adaptable. Just so you understand too, we're a cloud-based SaaS. So there's nothing to install down on the customer site if we need to, except for one thing, and that is that if we have to interact with on-premise systems, which is common, we deploy what we call a proxy down on there. It's just a little Windows service that allows us to initiate PowerShell on a particular machine. Typically, it's a Windows server somewhere that somebody has, and we initiate PowerShell sessions there so we can get access to resources and manage those resources. We're highly scalable. So one of the things you may be used to with it is, how do you load balance, and you do all this type of stuff with an IGA. In our particular case, one of the reasons why we could do something like I showed you there, Alorica, where we can do it like in 27 seconds now, is because we're a microservice architecture. So one particular job does not actually block any other jobs from happening. So if if I've got events coming in from 5 or 6 different systems or 5 or 6 different sources, and I need to go affect the exact same system, I'm not limited to saying, oh, well, I can only go down this one pipe. I can create 5 different pipes for you to go down. So it's extremely, extremely scalable for you and your customers. Again, we're based on PowerShell. We integrate with pretty much anything that's out there. We've never found something we couldn't integrate with. Extremely scalable, repeatable. As we talked about, those bots can be reused multiple times and in different ways. And again, very much allows you to take business logic and reproduce that. We're not a no code, we're not a low code. We call ourselves the right code platform, meaning that you get to do the right level of coding as necessary. In some cases, we've got no code, but I can always take, even if I have no code type of situations where I can just do through configuration, I can always go down lower, all the way down to the metal if I want, and augment that process or override that process if I need to. Same thing with low code. We can do the same thing. So you can take any intelligence, anything, as you saw there in Aloric at the beginning, very complex, very unstandardized process, and we can make that into reality in rapid time.
Thank you for watching this video. You can find more information on our website at readybots.com.